All right. That sounds good.
I'm sorry.
No, dude, that's actually pretty great. I did like I was in comedy sports in Chicago for a few years, so
Okay.
that was like my background, my kind of first improv gig. My first professional gig was doing that. I loved it.
That's awesome.
Um, so yeah, I don't. I mean, we go like 10 minutes. I'm all for like however you want to play, whatever you want to do, man. I'm down for that.
Okay.
Um, and then yeah, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you this count of suggestions we got, and then you just pick a number, and then I'll tell you what that corresponds to.
Is it like a range of numbers? I did have to like just arbitrarily come up with the digits. So like maybe like a 5-digit number or like a 2-digit number.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. No, it's like pick a number here. Pick a number between 1 and 71. How
Ooh,
about that?
that oddly rhymes. I wonder. Let's do 34.
Oh shit! All right, here we go, buddy. Here we go.
Oh no.
34. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's why like digits matter. It could have skipped like 1 through 10. Could have been like
20, 1, 2, 3, 25, 6, 7, 8, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, this comes from Stephanie Rae.
oh gosh.
Oh yeah, that's right. My friend, our suggestion is genius. Genius.
This looks good, right? I this looks very convincing. I just shake my head and yeah, I know the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you're full of confidence.
That's perfect. I can sell that and then we can get away with not knowing exactly what I'm thinking about.
I mean, I think isn't that the key? Is just like fake confidence. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you go everyone expects just because you wear like a suit and tie that means you must be like the master's degree summa cum laude like de facto like know everything, but clearly like I don't know anything about. I didn't pay attention in college. I just slept on my book and that was it.
Oh my God, I thought I was the only one who was faking it. I don't even know how I got through college.
You, you didn't hold on a second. Like you're talking just like academically, right? Like we spent some good years in college.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking like, I mean, I got through college because of you, but like academically, I'm not using anything that I learned in college at all. The first 2 years were just a rehash of high school.
Okay, good. I was worried for a second that like when you said you're like just kind of breezing through college that like our friendship didn't matter. So I was worried for a second, but like academically fine. Like that's great. Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Like I'm glad that we were friends through that experience.
oh yeah, yeah. No, no. Oh my God, no, no. Like, dude, you were the thing in college that kept me going.
I thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That makes me not as sweat profuse.
What I
I'm
got
not
you,
as
man.
moist anymore.
You're
I
not as you're not sweating as pro. Don't tell me pro
pronating.
pronating, right? You're
Pro.
not sweating as much. You're not sweating as much.
I have to. You win a Pulitzer, and they ask you to give a speech on the most beautiful literary thing in the world, and I have you by my side, and I'm panicking. I just took a bunch of that when you take the Wikipedia thing and just start randomly clicking through, like search a new
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just it's like that monkeys and Shakespeare, and it just happened to create this beautiful work of art, and I just don't know. Like, I shouldn't be here right now. Like, I shouldn't be here, and I'm glad you're here with me, but I just feel like I'm doing the world a disservice.
Oh, dude, of all the time for the imposter syndrome to hit you, now is like, I mean, this this would be the worst time for it to hit, and of course it's showing up now. You don't think you deserve to be here.
What? I'm sorry. What is imposter syndrome?
Oh, it's where you think like you don't think you're good at anything. You think you're a poser. And you're afraid people are going to find out that you're not good.
Oh, I thought that was that thing where it's like you're living like an alter ego, and then just goes flash like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of thing.
Oh, what's that called?
At the Dr. Chalk. No, no.
A pro. It's
I wish I had my phone and Google it.
I mean, of all the time to run out of battery, this is like the worst time for your phone to run out of battery because it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's like you're like, it's not too, I want to say two-faced. It's not too, hey, are you
You
crying?
know when I said I wasn't moist, now I'm getting moist out of my eyeballs.
Oh,
Now I'm panicking. I don't even know like a thing. Like what if they ask? Like what if they like do like a question and answer? Do they do those during like
yeah.
acceptance speeches?
Yeah, that's what happens as soon as you get the award. In fact, before you get like 30 seconds to say thank you to everyone, then it's a Q and A section.
What?
Yeah, that's a Q and A. I mean, and some of the most prestigious people in the world are here tonight.
Like prestigious like
Yeah.
uh Channing Tatum? I don't
Yeah.
know who's prestigious.
No, Channing Tatum is hosting it, dude.
What?
Yes, Channing Tatum is hosting these awards, and I'm sure the first thing he's going to do is he's going to ask you a question. And I know how much you love him, and you love 21 Jump Street, you love 22 Jump Street, like you love all the Jump Streets. And
I've been lying to you this whole time.
oh,
I did not start watching him because of that. I watched him because of Magic Mike and Step Up.
well, I mean, you
I
love.
love his body moving.
Well, he's going to be right there. He calls your name up, and when you walk up, he goes to greet you, and he brings you on stage.
What?
Yeah, Channing Tatum brings you on stage, man.
I'm gonna make Channing Tatum like moist from my moisture.
You have to, or you
Ah,
can't leave the stage.
ah.
I know, I don't mean to add any more pressure to you, but today's the biggest night of your life.
It's ah.
He's going to be right in front of your face. He's right in front of your face. He brings you up and you get 2 minutes and 30 seconds and he's standing right next to you as you're doing your speech. And then it's Q&A time and he's facilitating. So not only do you hear the questions from the audience, you hear Channing Tatum and ask the question as well.
Ah, ah,
You're getting real moist, dude. You are.
ah,
It looks like, I mean, your forehead is just drenched in sweat.
ah.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
that's what I was saying. It's like I wouldn't want to be on stage with Channing Tatum. I mean, he's the actor of a generation.
I can you walk on stage with me?
I mean, I'll walk on stage with you for sure, but part of the rules are you have to be next to Channing Tatum.
What? Stop! I
Yes.
can't. I can't just. I
Hey,
am. You cannot part the tides in front of Channing Tatum. Like you can't. Like no towel in the entire world is gonna keep me dry enough to not slobber all over him. I
yeah.
just. Oh, I. It's the pressure of I don't know what the hell I wrote. It's the pressure of whatever my obsession with Channing Tatum. I I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate that you're walking me on. It's almost like my parents never thought I'd ever get married, so I guess accepting a Pulitzer would be close second.
Do you know
So
how many people wish that they could win a Pulitzer? Do you know how many people? Oh, that's the bell. You got 2 minutes and we go on. That's the 2 minute bell.
ah hold my hand, hold my hand.
Here,
Oh
here.
my
Hey,
ah.
I would say that Channing Tatum is just like a regular person, but we both know that's not true. We both know that you have the opportunity of a lifetime. The whole point of winning a Pulitzer Prize is to meet Channing Tatum. It's not the prize itself. It's you're next to him. It's like his body is chiseled by the gods, okay? But you just be you.
I love you said Pulitzer instead of Pulitzer. I loved it when you make poop jokes in college.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Poop. Hey, does that help?
Yeah.
You earned this. You earned the right to be here.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the more you focus on who you're going up there, and the more you focus on Channing Tatum, like the more nervous you're gonna get. So when you see his steely blue eyes, just Look right at that dot right above his eyes, on the forehead.
What kind of underwear is he wearing?
Well, I think he has Mac Weldon underwear, if I had to guess, or BVDs. Maybe he has BVDs.
Are they both antimicrobial and 80% off with the coupon code?
God, I hope so.
I I think I'm ready.
Whatever you say, just let it flow from the heart. All right? Oh, Channing Tatum. Listen, you got to do this alone, buddy. I can't go up there with you. You have to do this alone. You can do this.
Ah
There you go. Yes. Oh, you've never been more prolific than right.
ah
Grab his hand. Follow the
ah
light. Follow the light. There's
ah
Channing Tatum.
ah
You got this, Mikey.
ah
Mikey, you got this.
ah! Oh, my chair! Ah
God bless you, Channing Tatum.
ah!
God bless you, Mikey Devontes.
Smikey Devontes.
Scene! Oh, buddy, that was so fun. That was so silly, too. I love getting silly, man.
I'm not sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love that Channing, like, of all the people to reference, it's Channing Tatum.
I don't know. I think lately I've been just trying to people keep saying like don't think too hard. So like I don't know. Yeah, just like this, the first thing came to my mind was Channing Tatum, and there was no. I wasn't thinking about him before or anything. It's like Why am I second guessing? Just throw it out there and see what happens.
I mean, if you spend your time going through options of what to put out there, it's never going to be the one that we think. We always are, we spend some time thinking like maybe this one is better. Nothing's a better choice.
Right. Yeah. But I'm glad I've never thought of Channing Tatum, and now I might watch Step Up right after this. I don't.
My references were, yeah, Magic Mike and the Jump Street ones. I love that you referenced Step Up.
That's actually I've never watched any of those. The only movie of Channing Tatum I've watched was Step Up, so that's why I was. And I don't even think that was like his. I think that was the role. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to like any kind of movie buff. I don't know movies, but that's the one I knew was like I didn't even know it was Channing Tatum until I watched the second movie, and then it was like that was Channing Tatum. I'm like, what? And then I looked at he was in the first movie. So I discovered him by accident. I just love John M. Chu and breakdancing.
I think it's so fun to like reference something and then try to really come up with anything about that when you have very limited knowledge. Like I have a very limited Channing Tatum knowledge base, but I love to play as if I'm a big fan of his.
Right. I sometimes I even feel guilty just to bring. I know like yeah. Sometimes I just feel guilty like bringing something specific, but I feel like it's just that one thing enough and trying to like deal with it.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that kind of worked out because I was like nervous about. I mean, it is just like we never played before, so there's that. But also just like, oh gosh, why did I bring up Channing Tatum? Like, what do I know about Channing Tatum? And like I made that gift.
It was so great because I knew as soon as you said it, I was like, you have no idea anything about him. And I'm like, me too, brother. I got no idea about Channing, but let's not let this go.
Right.
And you're like, somebody once I heard in a class say, you're not responsible for someone else's reference level. So, it's impossible for us to know every reference that somebody throws out there. So we have limited reference knowledge. So if I reference something you're not familiar with, that's not up to you to instantly know what that thing is. That's up to me to help you understand it if I want to bring it up.
Yeah, I think I've noticed like a lot, like in seeing people play the last few months, where I think people overthink of they brought up a thing that they don't know, and then it's like, oh, I have to like prove that this person actually know what they're talking about, as opposed to just like, okay, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And I've realized lately, just like, why not just deal with the thing and pretend? Because like the pretending is the fun part.
Oh, 100%. Watching you pretend and watching you struggle on stage is a joy to a lot of times where like it's like short
Thank you.
form games, you know, we're
Yeah,
watching us struggle trying to do forward reverse, knowing that we'll probably mess it up.
right.
How did you get into improv?
Oh gosh. I had a friend. So in Vegas, there was a girl that just kept asking me to watch her shows, and it just happened down the street. I never would because it would just interact. It would intersect with my job. Um, there were a couple times where I was able to either get out late or I didn't have like my job thing. So
Mm.
me and my friend would go watch her, and it was like high school kids doing improv in a bar that somehow they let them do it, and then I thought it was hilarious. I started coming whenever I could. I got to do slow mo Olympics,
Oh yeah.
which I picked up. I was trying to pick up a bottle of water, like the with the object work, space work, whatever, and then it was interpreted as I hit the other girl with a frying pan, and then having to deal with that. I was like, that's not the choice I wanted to make, but let's go with it. And then from there, I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. I should try doing it. Um, Led to finding like these $5 workshops that my friend Brent taught, which he's doing voiceover work in Hawaii now. Led to me discovering Vegas Theater Hub in Vegas, which led me
Mm.
to when people found out. No, you know what it was? It was yeah, it was mostly just like this person just kept asking me, "Hey, try it out." So that's where I found improv. There's a whole story behind musical improv, but I think the biggest one was just like seeing it live, and then just continuing to like, okay, I like it so much. How do I justify what I already know, and then just add to it.
And yeah, because you do teach a lot of musical improv now.
Yeah, it was UCB Sunset. I watched a team from New York play. Yeah, I watched a team from New York play there, and I talked to the MD. It was Sam from Sam and Tony show,
Uh,
and I talked Sam and Tony right afterwards, and they were like, and then Tony was like, "Yeah, I got my master's in opera from IU," and I was like, "Really? I'm an opera person too." And then that started a whole conversation of like, how do I add piano? And then I had to do this whole thing where I did like travel the country and like talk to all the second cities, and then I got involved with Improv Boston at Nemix,
mm.
and then I just constantly trying to find out because there wasn't really any MDs in Vegas, so I had to like kind of go out, and I had the opportunity for other reasons, so I took advantage of that and just went to everybody and be like, how do I do this? And then it got to the point where I got invited to festivals, and then I got to be able to teach finally, and then all this happened. So it's kind of just snowballed just from like, man, this is so much fun. How do I write on it?
Yeah, it's funny, right? Where one chance happening leads to something, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay, I guess I'm teaching this. I guess I'm doing this. I'm still getting enjoyment out of it.
Right. And it was kind of like a because there weren't many, if any, musical improv teachers in Vegas, so it was almost like I kind of had to learn quickly. So then, because people wanted it, they were doing a little bit of short form musical improv, but then it wasn't like they were kind of doing this by watching Who's Line. So
Mm.
then eventually, because I went traveling, then I ended up having to like teach the musical improv workshops. We even brought like at one time I brought a whole van of people from Vegas to watch shows in LA like as a field trip, and then we even brought Laura Hall to teach in Vegas because
Oh,
they were like, "We want more." So like, okay, Laura, hey, do you want to come in? So then, yeah, it's been nice like helping because I've had to go out and learn how to do it. It's almost been like a personal responsibility, but now we got a lot of people from Vegas hyped about it, which is really exciting.
I mean, that's pretty cool that you're like, let's go on a fucking road trip and let's go see some of this. And not only that, I'm going to bring one of the top MDs in improv in the world to come teach us. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's been I would never have seen it happening like 5 years ago, but it's been cool just so because everyone's. I think there's a thing about like yes and like, just like getting each other's backs and just being super friendly and listening, and it's like it's been really easy to like just find like-minded people that support the idea, and then let's just share it with as many people as possible.
How do you deal with what's happening virtually with like the lag between music and when people are trying to sing? Have you figured
That's the
enough
question everyone's
said.
asking.
Enough said. Look at that answer.
Yeah, no, it's how do I deal with the lag in music? There are two answers to that. There are a very technical reason. There's a very technical thing that so I mostly we're on Zoom right now. So there are some workarounds on Zoom that have to do with like DAWs and third-party programs. Um, and what I've realized, because I'm mostly working with people who either not have any musical improv experience or just like people in jams, is that I don't know. What I wanted to say was I don't care. But that's not what I meant. I meant like
No, I gotcha.
it's I noticed the people who keep asking about the lag are people who are obsessed with perfection, and I realized like, man, improv I feel like is about like celebrating the fact that we can take imperfections and make them beautiful. So
Yeah.
I started working around like if I'm gonna at least I have to make sure that the the singer needed everything that they needed, which was basically a clean piano sound that wouldn't get interrupted. Because before it would be the piano sent through the microphone, and there's a whole thing where like Zoom can only handle two microphones and a computer sound. That computer sound was the workaround. So what I've basically done is on my end for like a few, and there's been a few other people like John Sturck from like Comedy Sports Chicago, and like Stephanie from Chicago, and like I actually was working with a couple of people from Baby Wants Candy on it recently. Like for me, the only thing that I was concerned about was making sure like to make the singer look good, and then making it as easier for the improviser as possible. So what I've effectively done is just train people to just live with the lag,
Yeah.
because I think what happens is like when people think about it too much, where it's like, and it kind of happened at the beginning of COVID, where it was like people were getting so many negative reactions for like, this isn't the same. I can't physically touch you, which is technically actually a really good thing in improv right now.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
so yeah, it's like people are like, this is the same. Like there were so many negative things happening to people, and it's like I think the few of us, well, not few, but there were a bunch of us that were like, actually, we can find ways of like taking that to advantage. And when I started finally teaching musical improv on Zoom, the thing I used to tell people was treat Zoom like, or even you can say for latency, you can treat Zoom or latency like an improviser you've never played with before,
Mm.
and then just play with them. So then, and then it makes everybody look good. So like things like making people like either commit to like the tempo they're doing, or like make it very like rubato, so like it seems like time doesn't even matter, and there's a way to do it that way, just like. And also just training people like, if you're a terrible singer, then your character and your relationships and the emotion are going to mask any lag. And most audiences nowadays are forgiving because they know the lag exists anyway. So I think like just being like, that's why I kind of go for silly, is like, I think, yeah, just being vulnerable, just being fun, trusting your people, like the good, like even like when even before COVID, when I was teaching classes, like I would always start with 50% non-musical, and then people be frustrated like, why isn't there musical stuff? It's because I'm looking for a thing that makes musical special, which is like the good improv skills of like you're committing, you're riding that emotional ladder. And then when they get to like the actual things like, let's try a duet, then that makes it so much easier to like, you don't have to worry about voice technique because your body's going to follow it, your brain's moving so fast with the physicality, like lyrics will streamline themselves. And then I realized just having that, then the lag has no power over anybody. Like obviously, like if you're on a team and you're going for it like financially, then sure you're gonna have to do the workarounds. But because of working with amateurs, like I've realized, just reminding people of what it was like to have fun before COVID, and then just transitioning it into this new format, I think is why people that I've worked with are having more success, because like they're making themselves better improvisers first. And this is coming from someone like at one point I had to like assistant conduct with like Metropolitan Opera singers, and like I had to conduct Carmina Burana, like professional stuff. And I've realized like more importantly, it's like the human part of things that are way more important than any of like music is the Heilige Kunst or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, and a lot of people in InterCity believe that too, which is why we're able to get musical improvisers just to jam. Even next week we're doing like a band, and it's like, how do you do a band with lag? It's like, well, just do it and just have fun with it, because there's no way to fix it. Just enjoy the fact there's even a band available.
Oh, dude, 100%. I remember when this hit, it's like, why was there, and God bless anyone for what they feel and and how they react. But I was like, we're supposed to be overcoming objections and saying, let's figure it out, or let's just try it, and not there were so many people I found, especially more experienced, who were like, "Oh, it can't be done on Zoom. You can't improvise on Zoom." It's like, okay, then you don't improvise. Me, I got to improvise. So if you get together with people who have that same idea, you'll figure out how to make it work because you've got your brains working together. But it's very easy for improvisers, for some reason, to fall in that trap of like, well, this just can't happen. It's like, no, it can.
I think part of it is like I've noticed people. It's been especially with like who's been playing now, who's slowly coming on, and who's still not improvising. I think because and you can't fault people for that. Like everyone improvises for a different reason. I think
Yeah.
for me with InterCity, it was just like I because it was tough on people emotionally to like get over the pandemic. Then I mean they're dealing with their own stuff, and that's respectable. But for me, like I wanted to play. I didn't want to feel alone, just
Yeah.
sitting here at a computer. So like let's find a way to do it. And I think part of it is like how do we interpret like is improv solely just a theatrical thing that we have to do that's because it's impressive to the audience, or is it like a way of life where we're constantly listening to people? And I feel like I tend to work better with people that way, where it's like the improv of just like, yes, I hear what you're saying, and I might not agree or disagree with you, but I'm going to listen to what you say. Like the things that we teach in an improv class extend outside of improv. And I think that's why, and those types of people, I think, were tend to be the first people to jump on the internet sooner.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's like, yeah, I hear you, and I mean that's the biggest thing humans want is to be heard. Like, whether I agree or disagree with you, at least I hear you and I hear what you're saying. And I think it is more of a way of life. I think it's cool to play the games and everything, but I think it does extend far outside of that. And now, of all times in my lifetime, improv is so needed right now just to get through the moments.
Yeah, I can't believe how many people have come out to me like even like since like April of like just in inner city or not, but just like the fact that like we were able to get people online and just like
Yeah.
some people are like literally stuck in their homes and then the internet is their way out to like interact, and then their technology is good enough where it doesn't seem like we're talking to robots anymore. It's like it's a real person, and I've built a community. I
Yeah.
don't want to admit to that. I've formed a group, a friend circle based off of just like being able to do it for so long. I was saying built the InterCity community. I couldn't have done it with other people to help me. But it's
Well,
really just like it's we have the same one, so we're able to find each other because this happened to work.
yeah, and you inner city by that there's an inner city jam that you're a big part of. Tell the folks about that because I mean the everybody I know that have gone to it just raves about it.
Yeah, so it started off with my friends Drew from Buffalo and Ben Amiri from Pittsburgh. Um, the pit I will say this always beginning because the Pittsburgh improv community really inspires me.
Mm,
They have every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Before COVID was they would go to this theater. I think it was like a government sponsored theater downtown, and they'd always clear space for them. And then all the theaters in town would combine, and then they would just do a jam just for the community. And I think even that jam
yeah,
started before any theater in Pittsburgh showed up. And anyone watching, you can correct me on that. But Ben was running it when I was doing the MD training thing. Like I messaged Pittsburgh Improv, and he reached out to me, and I just loved the way that like it was communal. It was like intra-city, we're all coming together regardless of like what theater we're coming from. So when it came to like let's improvise, like I just pulled people that I knew. Like I'm from Buffalo, so I'm like I want to pull improvise from Buffalo, Pittsburgh, a couple people from
mhm,
Vegas, and then we were like, let's just play. And then after the first one, started noticing like all of the theaters, like so there's a bunch of theaters that knew Zoom already. They were already going like we weren't the first people to do like improv on Zoom. Like there were people doing it like couple 2 or 3 weeks prior to that. But I noticed that the only way at the time people could play was either be on a team that was on Twitch, and then that's it,
mm,
or you had to pay for a workshop. And I was like, man, like there weren't as many jams because I think people were testing the waters. Like,
yeah,
let's have a good quality thing that people can go to, where it feels like they're part of something bigger that they didn't have to pay to go. So and because of me too, of just like feeling like an underdog of like let's build a thing because we should take care of our fellow improvisers. So that's kind of like where I used to be by myself. Week 4, my internet shut down because I tried a different computer, and then finally people were like, "Let's help you." And then now we've built a thing where it does feel like it's a big. It's actually kind of a. It's not just a jam. It's like kind of a bigger production where we're
yeah.
organizing people. Like we're bringing on sketches. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to play piano for a while because we're having a few MDs come through and just like try it out. Like
Wow.
apparently theater, like different groups, like we've actually kind of helped form jams outside. Like I'm gonna call them out. I'm pretty sure people from Curious Comedy modeled our jam because I went to the first time and there was like, this is like a thing of tips on how to be nice to each other. I'm like, we did that first. Like I'll call them out. Like, I'm playing for them on Wednesday, but it's like it's been cool because like now jams are popping up that are modeled after ours. Like we've had theaters like my team Bleach before was not playing at all, and then when I finally invited them to play in InterCity, now we're part of the Palm Beach Festival, which is like we're like it was not only just doing a jam but also like helping people realize like it's possible. And then yes, again, so like people have been coming out of the shadows, play for InterCity, and then now they're going through and like there's now branching off on their own. So it's almost like InterCity has been part of the catalyst for getting people on, so then we're getting more connected. And I'm proud of that. I don't want to cry, but that's what it feels like. And it's pretty cool seeing being a part of that.
It's huge. It's like congratulations. It's such a huge thing, and whether it's a virtual scene again or in person, I can't wait to play with you again, man. Thanks so much for being a part of this. It was just an enormous pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.